Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Discussion. My name is Mostly Darius, and I will be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 2, A Sobering Separation is the title of the episode. If you guys like Bravo TV shows and reviews and all that, just, subscribe to my channel. I'll be trying to be more consistent this season. Also, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Mostly Darius and at The Discussion, and on Twitter at Mostly Darius and The Discussion too. I might be getting off Twitter soon. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. Because, yeah. I'm also trying to do TikTok too, so y'all can follow me on there too. But anyways, let's get into the review. I don't want to waste any time. So the sit down with Kyle and DORIT continues from last episode. Kyle tells DORIT that she feels like she isn't acting like herself. They start showing a clip of Kyle on Amazon Live when she was saying that DORIT was exaggerating her friendship with Kyle. DORIT was like, I feel like you really just thrown away 8 years, but okay. And Kyle brings up BravoCon, but DORIT was like, well, girl, I don't think you're really mad about BravoCon. I think you're mad about something else I said. And DORIT was like, if your feelings was hurt, then I would expect you to just come out and say my feelings were hurt. And you know what? I have to say that is something that I do relate to in life. I think a lot of people have a problem with saying my feelings are hurt. You hurt my feelings. I think angry people are really just people that are sad. Like, I think it's just heightened sadness. I think that people that are angry don't want to come out and say, yo, that my feelings was hurt, because it's all about not looking like a punk. Like, I don't want to like no punk. Like, my feelings not hurt. Like, I'm hard. Like, what? Like, but like, no, you have, like, people feelings do really hurt, and they start expressing it in different ways. But it really all boils down to you were mad. That's what it really boils down to. So Kyle starts asking DORIT for grace. She's like, girl, like, you can give me some grace. Like, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. And DORIT's like, no, grace time is over. Like, I think I've given you enough grace. And I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. I really feel, I feel sad because I feel like they can really be here for each other. But I also know that sometimes in friendships, it takes situations like this to show you who your real friend is. It really does take these type of situations. So I think they may be seeing a lot of things about each other that they never really wanted to admit, or maybe they were like, I don't know. I just know that they are definitely on each other this season. I also said that I think they're accusing each other of the same thing. I think that they're both saying that you're making up why you're mad about me. Because DORIT doesn't believe that that's why Kyle is mad, and Kyle doesn't believe that's why DORIT is mad. She thinks now, oh, you're making stuff up. So I don't know. DORIT starts going off her confessional. She was like, it's about time that I stop keeping my mouth shut. I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? DORIT never was the type to me. I never seen DORIT keep her mouth shut, but if she was holding stuff in, then if this is her way of getting it out, then go off. Do your thing. We get into Bowls, and she's introduced herself, and she has a workshop called the Badass Workshop. She tells us that she's Ghanaian, and I was like, dang, she's like very accomplished. Like, she's in Forbes and Ebony, and I'm like, okay, like, and she was talking about how she was still busy even though she retired. She's still out here working, and I'm like, as a public figure, that is the life that you live, to be honest, especially when you like, or if you want to give back to your community, then you're never going to stop working. Like, that's all community work, you know what I'm saying? Community service, whatever you want to call it. It's not always a bad thing. People call community service a bad thing. Doing for your community is always good. So it's good to give back. She's having these workshops inspiring people all around the world. I think that's pretty cool. She starts talking about her husband, how they were the opposite of each other. Then she mentioned that, like, her daughter, I didn't even know Bozeman had a daughter. I may have known, maybe, I'm trying to think. I think this is the first episode mentioning that. So if she mentioned it, forgive me, I didn't pay attention last episode. But yes, she mentioned that her husband died when her daughter was 4 years old, and that really sucks. And I have to say, I relate to that. My dad died when I was 10, so I wasn't 4, but I was, I was very young. So I understand how very like tough that is. It does strengthen your relationship with your parent. I can imagine they're very close. One thing that stuck with me that Bo said was, the things that are happening in your life don't have to make you sit down. You can still get up and do something. That is very true. That is very true. That was a very inspiring thing that she said. I have to give that to her. So anyways, we get into Kyle and Sutton. They're having lunch. Every time Sutton gets on screen, she just shows you that she's one of the funniest housewives. She was mentioning her Botox that she just got done for free at an Oscar party by a doctor. Like, I'm just like, that is so Beverly Hills housewife. Like, that's like the epitome, right? Exactly. So then production starts to get flashbacks about things that Kyle was saying last season with DORIT. Remember, they were insinuating that Sutton had a drinking problem. I remember that. Crystal was the one who kind of broke that to Sutton last season. I remember that. And the producer asked, why does she seem to trust Kyle? And Sutton was like, who said I trusted Kyle? I'm just like, yo. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, but she kind of got a point though. Like, girl, you was just last season trying to insinuate that I have like a drinking problem. But then again, maybe she was projecting because she knows maybe what it's like when people go through drinking problems. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to take it there. But some projection is a real thing. I think we all project in some way. So Kyle starts to explain that things are good between her and Mauricio because they recently stayed in the same house, but they didn't even stay in the same room. And Sutton was like, yeah, it's good for now. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I think she's projecting. Kyle says that she doesn't think Mauricio would like do anything weird to her in court. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I want to believe that Mauricio wouldn't do Kyle like that. But if we take a look at how he's doing her right now, it's not really looking good. And it's like so sudden at the same time. It's just like, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it. But what I did do, I looked up Sutton's birthday. I don't know. I'm very into astrology. She's a Virgo, and it makes so much sense why she's so firm in her belief about this divorce. Like, she's not playing with Kyle. Virgo women are very, how do I put it? In relationships, just I'm gonna put it like this: they don't play. I'm gonna just put it like that. But she told Kyle that she needed to file. Well, I would say I agree with Sutton on that. I do think that Kyle needs to file for divorce. She needs to just hurry up and close this chapter. I understand that there is a lot of emotional connection in a marriage, but I also think that she'll benefit from moving forward because right now it seems that that's what Mauricio's doing, and we'll get to that when we get to later scenes. We'll talk about that more. So we go to Bo's house with Dorit and Erica, and Bose asks them to take their shoes off as soon as they get in. I like that a lot. It goes to show you how everybody has a different style that they do in their house. Some people will be okay with you walking in with your shoes on. Some people would rather you take your shoes off. I'm the type of person I like to take my shoes off, but I unfortunately realistically realize that sometimes that's not always the case. So you have to do your best to keep your shoes off in your house because, like let's say I go down and I'm about to leave out and then maybe I forget my keys and I got my whole outfit on. I gotta run back to my room because I don't want to be late to wherever I'm going. So I might have my shoes on. But when it comes down to it, I do sweep, I do my little due diligence when I gotta do what I gotta do. Anyways, I just went on a whole tangent about me cleaning my floors. But next, they go to the backyard. They all sit down and they ask Bose how she feels about the rest of the girls. And Bose is like kind of questioning Dorit and Kyle's friendship. She was like, "Why is she mad at you?" And Dorit was like, "I really don't know why she's mad at me." Then the scene cuts back to Kyle and Sutton. And Sutton asks Kyle, she was like, "Do you miss Dorit?" And Kyle's like, "I'm too angry to say that." She's like, she doesn't trust Dorit. She doesn't take accountability. And I was like, I think, once again, y'all are both doing the same thing. Neither one of y'all have taken accountability for why each other's hurt each other. Y'all won't even hear each other out. So it's kind of like y'all both have to like listen to want to understand why you hurt that person's feelings. Like if you're in a real friendship, what you want to do is know, why did I hurt my friend? I think it's about proving a point to them more than actually solving the problem. Anyways, the scene comes back to Erica and Dorit at Bo's house. Erica points out exactly what I thought at the beginning of my recap. It was kind of like bad that they can't be there for each other. So next, Erica and Bo start tapping into Dorit's home life. And Dorit explains that she has not told the kids, that she's still telling them that PK is at work. And sometimes if they fight, PK will leave for weeks. PK, where are you going for weeks? I would like to know. Erica says that she relates to Dorit in the sense that she didn't want to say anything about what she was going through either when she was going through her divorce with Tom. So like I always say, I feel like Dorit and Erica have so much more in common than they realized, or at least wanted to realize when they first, were on the show. I think they both were on their high horse maybe at one point. Not on their high horse in the sense that, oh, I'm better than you, but like in the sense that I'm married and you're married and my man is respected and your man is respected and I'm that bitch and you that bitch. It's just like it's sometimes what we see on these shows is that there can't be more than one head bitch in charge. And I think that that may have been a little bit what they were doing in the beginning when they first got on. But I think them going through a divorce kind of levels the playing field a little bit because it's like, maybe I do like you when it comes down to when it gets real. You know what I'm saying? Not when you on that superficial Hollywood Beverly Hills nonsense. I feel like that's where the show is starting to change a little bit. Not that Beverly Hills hasn't always been real and show real life, right? But I feel like it's a different thing when all of the ladies on the cast are single. Like this is starting to get into a different sisterhood. Like, I'm trying to think what other cast is single. I think all of the ladies on Miami are. No, Julia is married, so no. What other cast are all the girls single on? Because Atlanta is not about to be that way either with Shamia going on this. So this is about to be, I think, the only cast where the girls are all single. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause yeah, Real Housewives of New York would have been one, but I don't. The original girls, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we want to count Kathy. Is Kathy still married? She's a friend of the show though, so does that count? I don't know. I don't know. We're not gonna even count that. So, anyways, to cut the scene, Bose asks Dorit if she's waiting to see what happens in her marriage before she shares with the kids what's going on, and Dorit was like, "Yes." And Bose asks if she thinks there's a chance for reconciliation, and Dorit says that she does hope there's some chances for reconciliation with her and PK. And I'm just like, well, girl, like keep on hoping because the way you said that PK be giving it up, it don't seem like it's no chance for nothing on his side. We get to Sutton's house with Erica and Kathy. Sutton says she wants to be there for Kyle because she knows what it's like to go through a divorce. And this is what confirms that Sutton was projecting, but not only projecting, she was trying to give advice from her own experience because she didn't want to see Kyle hurt. So she says she wants to be there for Kyle. She plans a little pop up with Erica and Kathy. And Kathy and Erica come over and she starts spilling the beans about Mauricio changing that picture on his desk from him and Kyle to the picture of him and a dancer or some other girl he's with. I don't know. And Kathy looked shocked when Sutton was saying that. So it makes me think, like, did Kathy know about this? Like, how is Sutton spilling it? Or was Kathy pretending not to know? I don't know. Erica says that the same thing happened to her in time when she had a picture of who he was banging underneath his desk. She was just saying, you know, girl, I'm not gonna judge because it happened to me too. I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Like, these men be moving wild. But whatever. We get to Kyle's house with Erica, Kathy, and Sutton, and Kathy puts on her Amazon voice. It was the funniest thing ever, yo. She sounded like a fucking like uh like a monster or something. I don't know what that Amazon voice that she tried to put on was, but I was actually laughing. Like Kathy doesn't make me laugh often. I'm not gonna act like Kathy does not make me laugh often, but I was cracking up at that. I was cracking up. So they like breaking and entering Kyle's house on camera. I'm like, that's a little dangerous, but okay, if y'all want to film that, cool. Kathy pulls out pajamas once they get inside. It's like a full blown pajama party. Then they gather around Kyle on the couch, and I was just like looking at everybody like, wow, I wonder who else would have been there. Kathy didn't ask Sutton where Garcelle was. Garcelle's showing her movies in Atlanta, so she couldn't be there. And then Dorit and Kyle are not talking, so she's not there. And Bose and Kyle haven't really gotten to know each other like that, so it's really just those three. So they're sitting on there. Kathy goes and tells Kyle, "Oh, you look like you could be Mauricio's daughter because of this like gym picture that he took." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Kyle gets a little upset, and then it just really reinforces the fact that I forgot that Kathy really doesn't. She never really seen it from Mauricio because of the stuff that was happening with the family drama that happened with like Hilton and Highland with the whole agency thing, and then Mauricio went on to start his own thing, and like this whole thing just happened, and a lot of people. Oh my gosh. A lot of people say that because the agency is becoming so big that maybe contributing to the fact that that's why him and Kyle are getting a divorce. He's spending less time home at X, Y, and Z. Nah, nah, nah. I mean, we kind of did see a little bit of that last season, but I just think that's very interesting because I feel like now Kathy is letting the chopper sing. Like she's letting it out. Like, bro, I never liked your husband. Like, straight up. So I'm like, ooh, like yikes. Like Kathy is not playing. Kyle mentions how Mauricio got her some flowers for Mother's Day. Sutton says that she can't relate because she doesn't get gifts anymore. But Erica's like, girl, what you mean you don't get gifts? Like you get like how much a month? Yeah. I don't get nothing. They talk more with Kyle, let her know that they're there for her, and then everybody leaves. And it really is just Kyle and like when you close the doors and the lights go off, it's really just you. And I feel like Kyle is finally embracing that because there's always been rumors and rumblings about her and Mauricio, but I feel like this season is kind of like undeniable. Like it's like you kind of have to show. I feel like Bravo also wasn't playing with her. Like, girl, you're not about to keep getting on this show acting like things are peaches and cream. Like clearly something's going on. It's either you're going to show it or you're done. And I think Kyle at first didn't want to show it, and she even said herself she did not want to remain on the season. But I think that she had to suck it up, and she had to what I'm saying, like she had to pull through and be transparent on camera. So that was cool to see all of those ladies sitting on the couch and just, giving her that love, letting them know, I can relate. I'm here for you if you need me. And that's really what Housewives is all about at the end of the day. That's sisterhood that all of these girls want to mention. That's what you call sisterhood. We get to the final scene. Is Dorit and PK having a sit down? This sit down was like so. I feel like it was like watching couples therapy. Honestly, like it was so honest and it was so real and raw. So as soon as they like sit down, PK shows off his look. He's like, I'm single, PK, and I'm just like, oh my god, this kind of reminds me of when Lenny from Miami was getting divorced from Lisa, because he started like kind of changing his look and, you know, doing different things. And I was just like, oh my God. And Dorit was like, she really does not like the fact that he changed his mind for wanting to be married in 24 to 48 hours. And I'm just like, she said that last episode too, when she was talking to Kathy, like, oh, it just seems like he just up and left. And I stuck with him through thick and thin. But I also think that if somebody just wants to up and leave, I don't think that's no sudden decision. I think that that's something that had to been brewing in the back of PK's mind for a very long time. I feel like PK has been wanting to get rid of Dorit. I said this. I said I feel like PK has been wanting to get rid of Dorit, especially when the whole thing happened with the robbery. I feel like he was not able to, you know, really understand where she was coming from, like how vulnerable she had to be, and because she was there when she went through it. She was there going through it when it happened. So I don't think that he understands that. But PK says he didn't realize how much of a problem he had with drinking. He says that he sees more clearly why they're separating now, and that they don't speak nicely to each other, and if they spoke to the server how they speak to each other, they'd be kicked out. He was like, you know, I feel like we don't like each other. And Dorit was like, you know, do you feel like you don't like me? And I'm like, yes. PK, let it out. You do not, it does not seem like you're romantically attracted to Dorit anymore. It doesn't seem like y'all are on the same page in this relationship. I'm like, this right here is why I said it feels like I'm watching couples therapy, because I'm like, these are the questions that need to be asked and answered. Like, hello. I think that PK still seems to be upset about some arguments they had, and it really just confirms what I thought last recap. I don't think that all of those, I think they eventually did come to a cool sit down about everything. Like, you know what? I think between me and you, this isn't working. But I definitely know those arguments had to be nasty. Like, if she's saying he was an alcoholic, it's no way that they were having calm conversations. Because when people are on alcohol, they have heightened emotions. And it's no way that with all of the lights, camera, action, glitz, glamour, and fame that they go through, that, you know, there's not an ugly side to it. You know, with all that good comes some bad. And so I think that they were having those moments. So I think that they had to, you know what I'm saying? And I do think maybe PK could be gaslighting her because he wants to just get rid of her. But he also may have realized some things about himself too. Like, you do become a different person when you stop drinking. He says he stopped drinking. He says he stopped drinking. So I'm gonna just take his word for it. But you know, he said that Dorit makes him feel less than, and I feel like this is how the story always goes with these men and these housewives, and just not even housewives, but just any field in life in general. I mean, I feel like this is just the norm. PK tells Dorit they're not going to continue to talk 5 times a day, and they need to take a break from being so codependent. Dorit seemed really hurt about this because she really wanted to move forward in the marriage. I mean, that's what she even told Bose earlier. And I feel like this right here, I feel like because it's on camera, you know, she was saying he never said it to me like this, blah, blah, blah. And also, he probably never did, but I think it kind of makes you hold yourself accountable on camera. I don't see how you could get on a reality TV show and lie, because it's just kind of like you got to live in your truth. Like, if this is how you feel, this is how you feel. But I do think that, you know, it was interesting to see them have that conversation and be honest about how they really felt. And I think that it was a lot of realizations that happened between both of them. And I think that's what it all comes down to. That's just how life is. You know, nothing lasts forever. Just like marriage exists, divorce also exists for a reason. And so it's not like unlikely for people to be divorced. It's just not. It happens. So, you know, that's my take on the episode. I think that next episode, I think this is going to be a really good season. We're starting out really deep already on episode 2. But, you know, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at mostlydarius and at the discussion. And I'll see y'all in the next recap. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.